Johnson & Johnson getting out of the baby powder business about 2 decades too late. Coming up here in the jar. Hi folks, Alex Klingelhoeffer here with Exencial Wealth Advisors. It's 9:05 here in the middle part of the country on Friday. It is August 12th, 2022. Here's your morning jog around the economic headlines of the world. I want to start off with 2 articles about sort of this trend I'm seeing across the globe, and that is trade lines and resources becoming a little bit more provincial. Assets going up for sale, trade routes reconfiguring. A lot of that has to do with the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Some of it just has to do with resource scarcity. First one here, Petrobras putting up its potash concessions for sale. Why is that important? Well, potash is a feedstock for potassium, right? And potassium fertilizers. Potassium fertilizers are one of the key ingredients that make our globe food growing system go round. Now, if Petrobras is selling those assets, they expect them to be developed in country, of course, in Brazil. Now, normally you just get potash from the Russians. You just get them from the Ukrainians. Problem is, those countries are at war. For U.S., not a big deal. Most of our potash comes from Canada, our ally. On a go-forward basis, additional supplies around the world need to be found and developed, as long as the Russia-Ukraine region doesn't have a lot of export capacity because they're, bombing each other, including nuclear plants, which is not so good. On a go-forward basis, it looks very similar to Kazakhstan. It does about 1.3, 1.4 million barrels of oil per day. They're trying to get 100,000 out via Azerbaijan in the Baku region and avoid using Russian pipe entirely. Again, this is not the most efficient way for these molecules to move, right? It's not the most efficient route. That is through Russia. The problem is geopolitics are now sort of getting in the way of trade flows. That's causing things around the world to get more expensive. It's one of the key parts of inflation that lots of folks do not talk about. They just sort of blame it on Russian war or a lot of other things, right? Part of what is making this all go is trade just becoming a little bit less inefficient, and that hurts consumers. It's one of the key sort of themes we've been seeing over the past few months. Last but not least, we talked about it off the top, J&J out of the baby powder business. Of course, J&J has gotten reamed in the courts after their baby powder might have contained some asbestos and caused some cancer. At least 20 women thought so and got $2 billion from judges as a result. J&J, what they're trying to do is take these lawsuits, these liabilities, and put them in a separate company and then bankrupt that company. It's called the Texas two-step. It's actually a super interesting legal strategy that is just wild, because if it goes through, it means that big companies are functionally exempt from lawsuits, because all you have to do is say, hey, this unit that is a bad unit, we're going to put it over here in Texas, spin it off, and that going bankrupt, and their big corporation survives. Kind of a hideous result of capitalism. Hopefully the courts have some sense there. On a go-forward basis, they're not going to sell any baby powder, perhaps a tacit admonition that it's not good for their brand, if not good for babies. If you want some additional info over the weekend, feel free to find me on the internet. I am out there. Till then, hope you and your family have a really good rest of your Friday. I am out.